If you grew up wandering the neon glow of a mall arcade, you know the sound. The clink of quarters in your pocket, the hum of machines waiting for a challenger, and the laughter of kids crowded around a screen. Pac-Man and Galaga might be the kings everyone remembers, but tucked between them were games that had their moment, bright, loud, and unforgettable, before quietly slipping away. Today we're looking at 15 forgotten arcade games that once ruled the mall, each one a snapshot of a time when Friday nights meant soda-stained carpets and the thrill of chasing a high score. 1. Robotron, 2084. Robotron was chaos in a cabinet. Released in 1982, it dropped you into a dystopian world where robots had taken over and humanity was on the ropes. 2 joysticks gave you full control, one to move, one to fire, long before twin-stick shooters became a thing. The speed and sound effects were overwhelming, but kids lined up to test their reflexes. Today it's remembered by die-hard fans, but it disappeared as newer, flashier titles crowded the arcade floor. 2. Burger Time. In 1982, Peter Pepper was the chef every kid wanted to be. The goal? Run across giant buns, lettuce, and cheese slices while avoiding hot dogs and pickles that chased you around the screen. The silly concept and catchy theme music made it stand out. For a while, it was as popular as Pac-Man in some malls. But like many food-themed games, it couldn't keep up with more advanced graphics, and the recipe was eventually forgotten. 3. Zaxxon. Sega's Zaxxon hit in 1982 with something no one had seen before: isometric 3D graphics. Flying through space fortresses with a sense of depth felt almost magical at the time. Kids marveled at the angled perspective, though it made the game tricky to master. For a brief moment, it felt like the future of gaming. But the difficulty scared off casual players, and the fad faded as simpler space shooters stayed popular. 4. Paperboy. Few games captured suburban life like Paperboy. You pedaled down a pixelated street, tossing newspapers to houses while dodging dogs, cars, and angry neighbors. The handlebar-shaped controller made it instantly recognizable in the arcade. It wasn't just about high scores, it was about mastering the art of the perfect throw. Still, by the 90s, arcades leaned harder on fighters and racers, and Paperboy's delivery route came to an end. 5. Track and Field. In 1983, Konami's Track and Field turned athletic competition into button-mashing mayhem. Players hammered the arcade buttons to sprint, leap, and throw, often leaving machines with worn-out controls. It was a social game, with kids cheering as their friends went for the Olympic record. For a while, it felt like the ultimate test of endurance. But the pounding gameplay wore thin, and newer sports titles with smoother graphics left it behind. 6. Joust. Imagine knights riding giant ostriches, colliding mid-air in pixelated duels. That was Joust, a 1982 hit from Williams Electronics. Its simple yet surreal idea grabbed attention, and the flapping mechanics made every match unpredictable. It became a fan favorite in malls where competition was fierce. But as fighting games rose in the 90s, Joust's slow and quirky style just couldn't compete. 7. Moon Patrol. With its scrolling landscapes and catchy music, Moon Patrol felt like a Saturday morning cartoon come to life. You bounced across craters, blasting alien ships from your lunar buggy. The colorful graphics were a big leap forward in 1982, and kids loved the sense of motion. Yet, like many single-screen shooters, it was eventually overshadowed by faster, more complex adventures. Today, it's remembered fondly by those who took the ride. 8. Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair wasn't just a game, it was a spectacle. Using full animation by Don Bluth, it looked like a movie you could control, and kids crowded around just to watch. The Laserdisc technology was groundbreaking, but it also made the game expensive and prone to breakdowns. The QuickTime-style gameplay felt restrictive compared to joystick freedom. While its beauty is still admired, Dragon's Lair was more of a shining moment than a lasting hit. 9. Pole position. Before racing simulators were everywhere, there was pole position. With a steering wheel and pedal setup, it gave kids the thrill of the track in 1982. The bright roadways and billboards made it feel alive, almost like you were on a real racetrack. For years, it was the go-to racing cabinet in malls across America. But with every new generation of driving games, pole position got left in the dust. 10. Dig Dug. Armed with an air pump, you dug tunnels and inflated monsters until they popped. Dig Dug was weird, colorful, and completely addicting. Its underground setting made it stand apart from other maze games of the early 80s. For a while, kids couldn't get enough of blasting puckas and figars. But as the arcade world shifted toward head-to-head battles, Dig Dug quietly burrowed out of the spotlight. Walking through an arcade in the 1980s was like stepping into another world, a place where imagination, competition, and quarters collided. Some games became legends, while others, like the ones we've talked about today, shined bright before fading into memory. But for those who were there, each of these cabinets holds a story, a laugh, or maybe even a victory still worth remembering. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, give this video a like, share your favorite forgotten arcade game in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more nostalgic journeys. Until next time, keep those quarters safe, you never know when you'll need them.